Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This is a relatively young guy. He is 24 years old. He is about to go into medical school. At the moment he's doing some serious studying for the exams to get in, but this guy's a smart guy, so he's going to get in. He's going places. And he's writing in because he's confused and he's wondering if he's turning into some sort of Chad, the bad boy type. And why is he asking that question? You see, he has had, excuse me, my voice. He's had an epiphany lately. He has done a complete 180 from being the typical nice guy who chases after girls, put them on the pedestal, kisses their butt, does everything that you see guys do in movies and get the girl, but in reality they don't, to being the type of guy who's putting all his energy into focusing on himself, his goals, his ambitions, and as a result, all of a sudden, the gals are paying attention to him and chasing after him. And he's just he's shocked by this whole revelation. And I might add, this guy sent in a story about himself about half a year ago, which he wrote in how he was the typical nice guy and he got jerked around by a girl and hurt and did a 180 on her, and you obviously know what happened. And so he's writing in about that. And I'm doing this one, guys, as a perfect example what happens when a guy makes the mental change where he's going to focus on himself, making something of himself in this world, going for his goals and ambitions. And by doing that, the effect it will have not just on women, but other people around you in your life, but in this particular story, women. Because you see, girls, particularly good-looking ones, are used to guys bombarding them with attention all the time, chasing after them, doing everything they can to get their attention, ask them out, pursue them. It's rare that you have guys that can have pretty girls around him and he can give a shit, all right? He's indifferent, whether they talk to him or not, he doesn't care, because he's so focused on himself and making something of himself, chasing his purpose. And when guys chase their goals and ambitions and money, if you will, women chase after them. That's how it works. And this is exactly what's going on in this story. I think it's great. Now, I'm trying to help all you guys become like this, in this sense, not so you can get girls, because I know a lot of you guys are like, I'm done with that, SSM. But so you guys can essentially have the traits, certain qualities of the bad boys have that takes care of themselves, but without actually being a scumbag and a lowlife. Because let's be honest, the bad boys, the Chads and Tyrones, and here we go, I said Chad again, so now the FBI is going to come after me. You all heard about that story. But anyhow, I don't want you guys to be like them. I want you guys to be good, honorable men, but have some of the qualities that the bad boys have that will help strengthen you and get you where you want to be in life. And as a byproduct of being like that, you're going to have the success and feeling great about yourself. And yes, women will notice you if that's what you want. So I'm going to go through a story here. It's a good one to show you what happens when a guy makes that 180 and advise him accordingly. So it starts off, he says here, "Hello SSM. I've been a subscriber since 2021 and watch your videos routinely. You even read my story a few months ago in 2022. I've included a link to the video here to jog your memory. I'm writing because my life has done a complete 180 since I wrote you, and especially since that story happened. If you decide to make this a video, I think this one could fit in your Ask SSM. Yep, that's why I'm doing it. He says, I apologize for any grammar mistakes. English is not my native language. He says, I'm writing because I've recently experienced a shift in personality and by extension, the way I'm treated. I'm from a Spanish-speaking country where feminism is rampant. He made a point of writing rampant in giant letters. I'm 24 years old now, and I just recently graduated in December with a bachelor's in molecular biology. Congratulations, brother. You're on your way to being a doctor. Despite this, I'm still going to Canvas because of a study group for my admissions test into medical school. I give this context so you can see how my situation arose. As you can probably guess, I'm surrounded by empowered women and free spirits, all of whom are very arrogant and self-centered. Does that sound like around here, guys, in the US of A? That's why I say what I cover and talk about is everywhere. They range from very unattractive to 9s and 10s physically, but they all act the same for the most part. In other words, the ones that are 3s and 4s act like 9s and 10s. Ever since my last semester when I first wrote to you, I mentioned I was stubbornly focused on my studies. Good, that's what you should be doing. Your purpose. That hasn't changed, and apparently it draws an unexpected female attention. I've gained the attention of women who I would have classed out as out of my league years ago. I've also noticed that I act completely different than I would have several years ago. Yes, you do, because you've woken up. You realize what you were doing before wasn't working. All the bullshit you see in TV and movies are chasing after the girl and being that guy. It doesn't work in real life. It turns them off. But when a guy does the opposite of that, focuses on himself and his goals, and they're going to notice that. Now, of course, he can't be 500 pounds or anything like that, and he has to obviously, take care of himself, but you get the point. I'm no longer nervous, timid, or even surprised that they speak to me or look at me. If anything, I treat them perfectly normally, like they're not anything special or like queens. Good. Treat them all the same. Whether she's ugly or she's a hottie, you treat them all the same. Exactly. And you're indifferent. You can care less. Now, that's easier said than done for a lot of guys, but you get to that point when you essentially recognize your self-worth and that you got things going on for yourself. Success brings that. This doesn't mean I'm an a-hole towards them or anything. It just means I treat each interaction normally and don't speak to them unless necessary or spoken to. There you go. Now on to my situation. It would seem I'm slowly becoming something of a Chad according to my close friends. You're not becoming a Chad, dude. Not by my definition of that. You're becoming a guy. You're becoming the sweet spot, the happy medium, right in the middle between having traits like the bad boys do, the indifference, not giving a crap, not chasing after them, to the nice guy, not in the sense you're nice being weak, but just simply good quality guy, making things happen. Now, I know you're going to smack me, but I have 3 close female friends. Smack! You call that one. Why? Why? Yes, they're attractive. No, I don't want to be with them. One of them I regard as a sister who helped me through my depression and the story I first wrote. In other words, she's everything but blood at this point. The others I've known less time, but have cultivated mutual respect and confidant relationship. In essence, it's strictly platonic. Yeah, until they can get you, because they obviously want more. And I wouldn't make any of these girls you're friends with confidants. Because guess what? Girls can't keep secrets. I'm telling you now, if there's anything you want to keep secret, do not tell these women. The girls talk. It's a fact. These friends tend to give me insight on female nature and not the way that most women do. The way they talk, you think they listen to your channel. Hey, maybe they might. Send your girlfriends to my channel. These female friends have told me that the way I treat women on campus causes them curiosity and on some occasions seemingly drives them crazy. Because you're not doing what the rest of the guys do. These women who get absurd amounts of male attention just by looking at them. One example of my treatment is an attractive girl who was sitting under the sun in a short dress. So I offered her a spot near my table. She thanked me and sat at the table. We both kept minding our own business with occasional chit-chat until she left with some friends. I never spoke to her or even acknowledged her after that measly interaction. Yeah, I've caught her looking at me more than once. She's probably thinking, why isn't this guy asking me out? Why isn't this guy flirting with me? Why isn't this guy trying to do everything he can to get me out? I'm beautiful, aren't I? You can have a pretty girl. And by the way, the more beautiful woman, typically the more insecure they are. Out of 100 dudes in the room, 99 of those dudes could be checking them out, talking to them, but that one guy that doesn't, unless you say, he's a decent looking guy, and you can just tell by his body language and personality, he's comfortable who he is and all that, and he's not paying her attention, she's going to focus on that one guy that's not paying attention to her. Even though 99 guys in the room are practically drooling and chasing after her, she's going to focus on that one dude that isn't. That's how it works. And right here, perfect example. I've never spoken to her or even acknowledged her after that measly interaction, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes she's not even subtle about it. Once while I was at the table, she walked up and stood less than 10 feet in front of me. She turned half of her body around while perking her butt up and staring directly at me. When I finally noticed her, she turned around and kept walking. This is what they call the girls putting themselves in your orbit, if you will. Coming near you, doing anything can to get your attention, shaking her little ass, the flirting, hoping that you'll go up and make a move. That's how it works. Because a lot of them aren't going to actually come up to you and do that. The more masculine ones will, but my brothers, you guys want the feminine ones, not the more masculine ones. But this guy is not interested. He's focused on his studies, which you should be. 100% focus on your studies, getting that test done, passing the test, getting to medical school, busting your ass in medical school, becoming a great doctor. Then down the road, if you want to, you got plenty of time. But you got to be careful, because young gals love to rope themselves a doctor. My dad was a doctor. And he had the women chasing after him left and right, according to my mother. When I finally noticed her, she turned around and kept walking. Some of her friends have been also looking at me more than they should, but I don't really acknowledge them and go about my merry way. And by the way, guys, maybe some of you are thinking this dude's a little full of himself, or he's, maybe reading a little too much into this, and I don't get that impression. I get he's a good guy who's just amazed at the change of what's happened in his life and the way women look at him and treat him, because he's had this revelation, he's focused on himself and has the confidence and all that. So I don't take it like he's bragging or exaggerating. The most crazy example, however, is one who I confirmed has been stalking me on campus. This girl's an athlete, so that should sum it up for you in terms of her looks. I took a class with her last semester, but I never interacted with her. She always eyed me consistently when she walked past me, probably thinking I wouldn't notice. She even went up as far as eyeing me during tests, which I noticed when I got to turn in my sheets. She also seems to have recruited some of her friends to keep tabs. I mean, the girls are talking to their other girlfriends about the guys they like, and of course, because those girlfriends know that their friend likes you, therefore they think you're good looking and they like you now. She also seems to have recruited some of her friends, blah, blah, blah. How do I know this? Because some of those same girls always stare at me, begin to type on their phones, and she coincidentally shows up more often than not. A close friend even caught them eyeballing me from afar. This has also been confirmed by an inside source of mine. Think of them as a private investigator who happens to be a family friend. In other words, they're damn good at getting answers and persuading people. This has been going on for months, and she gets ballsier as time goes on. In other words, her little attempts to get your attention, that hoping you'll ask her out, isn't working, so now she's becoming more, getting closer to you, doing more things to get your attention. That's how it works. That's how feminine energy works, the traditional feminine energy and feminine way of doing things. Now things have been twisted around to be the opposite. She's less subtle with the staring, and she needlessly walks past me when she can. It's almost a routine at this point. My source says she and her friends generally think I don't notice them. Now, I know you're still focused on your studies and passing this exam to get in medical school, and this is entertainment for you, but let's not get too focused on these girls. According to my female friends, this is probably because of my attitude. Absolutely. I'm warm and friendly to those I know, but cold and indifferent to those around me. I don't look at people, especially women, unless I'm spoken to. I'm loud and smiling when I'm around my friends, but tend to be serious, but not rude if spoken to by people, especially women, that I don't know. I've also been told I'm a slick talker and know how to analyze social situations thoroughly. My female friends theorize that this attitude is driving the stalker crazy. Yeah, exactly. It is all about attitude, really. This is probably due to the fact that she's surrounded by a bunch of jocks who want to bone her, but some young guy geek with a nice smile doesn't think she's special. She's too arrogant to talk to me, but seemingly can't get over me and not even glancing at her. Well, her behavior and the other ones are checking you out and getting close to you in hopes that you talk to them. That's not necessary. She's probably arrogant if she's hot, and the way you describe the gals at your school, but a lot of girls will do that. Like if you're out at bars and stuff, like they like the guy, they see a group of guys having a good time, they want the guys to talk to them. So, and I'm sure you guys notice this, they'll mosey on over close to you in hopes that you guys will strike up conversation, invite them over to your little party. That's how it works. All this to ask SSM, am I slowly becoming some sort of Chad? Hello, FBI. This has been happening a bit frequently, and I'm thoroughly confused by it. I appreciate the content SSM. Keep showing men the true path to fulfillment. Bro, you're not becoming the Chad or the bad boy or the a-hole. You're just simply a guy who's learned to adopt some qualities that the bad boys have, put themselves first, being indifferent towards women, chasing after your goals and ambitions. Now, Chad and Tyrone's don't chase after their goals and ambitions. It's rare Chad and Tyrone actually have a job. But they put themselves first. They check women. They don't make women the center of their universe. You get the point. But by you being indifferent, not giving a crap either way, and you have your goal in mind, your studies, and making something of yourself, and that you've learned the hard way from your previous situations not to be that guy, it's working. It's drawing their attention because, like I said, you can have a pretty girl in a room with 100 dudes, and 99 of those dudes can be clearly hot for her, talking to her, hitting on her, all that, but the one guy doesn't, and that guy obviously is a good-looking guy and carries himself well. She's going to focus on that dude. That's going to drive her crazy. Why wasn't he talking to me? Why wasn't he staring at me, you know? And especially if he was talking to other girls. So that's what you get. And your female friends, and I would keep them at a distance, my friend. Don't tell them any confident information. They notice your attitude. You know, you don't give a shit. You know, so this is what I want you guys all to be like. Guys that have the qualities that the bad boys have, putting yourself first. I went through that. I can't talk today. First. You put yourself first. You're not kissing their butt. You're not doing all the guys do in the movies. But you're also chasing after your goals and ambitions. Your self-improvement, your purpose, making something of yourself in this world. Because, unfortunately, that's rare. Most guys make chasing girls and relationships their purpose nowadays. But the guys that don't do that, they stand out. And, of course, because other girls obviously are attracted to you, the other ones, because girls talk, they know about you. And they're like, oh, well, since those girls like him and they're good looking, well, I guess I like him now. Because he must be a catch. You see my point? So that's what I want you guys to be. That place where you're going after your goals and ambitions. You have some of the traits that the bad boys have, but you're not becoming a low-life asshole. Okay? Because nobody wants to be like the bad boys, because generally speaking, they're scumbags. Okay? And I want you guys to be like that. So, bro, you're not becoming like that, the Chad or Tyrone or bad boy. You just are finding the spot where I want you to be, right in the middle. And you keep continuing on this path, you're going to do very well. But meanwhile, while you're studying for your exam, and when you get to medical school, you can get entertainment from this to see the way that they're behaving towards you, and it backs up the things I talk about, as well as other guys talk about. So that's all you have to do. So I want you now to do what you got to do, pass this test, get into medical school, and I want you to bust your ass. I want you to be the best fucking doctor coming out of that medical school when you graduate, whatever that may be. And then down the road, once you got yourself established and all that, you want to date and all that, fine. Just be careful, because young women love to get themselves a doctor. Just be careful. And I know you know this now. So guys, this is how it goes. And remember, I'm not trying to condition you guys all. This isn't the dating channel. This isn't a pickup channel. But I will point out things that will help you, for you guys who are dating relationships, you know. And right here, guy on his purpose, doing well. He's indifferent, doesn't give a shit. You heard the whole story. That's what happens. And guys out there that are like him or have learned this, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. So don't worry, bro. You're not becoming like that. It's just some people's definition of what the Chad is a little different than others, you know. So you're going to be all right. So write me in time. Let me know how you're doing, gone to medical school, and how things are going on with this whole phenomenon you're discovering. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let's hear it, guys. Have you had that kind of change as well, where you started focusing on you, your goals, your ambitions? You don't give a crap anymore, and magically, all of a sudden, you're getting the attention. I'd like to hear about that in the comment section. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.